Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports That back into the video day. Today, the other day, the New York Jets and the Denver Broncos made a trade leading up to the 2024 NFL Draft. The Denver Broncos are trading for former number 2 overall pick Zach Wilson and acquiring a quarterback, which they only really have one quarterback on their roster right now who's gonna have a chance to be their starting quarterback, and that's Jarrett Stidham. And, they like him. I like Jarrett Stidham. I think he has a good future. I thought he showed some really good things in the final 2 games of the 2022 season with the Las Vegas Raiders. And I thought he showed some really good things with the Denver Broncos in the final 2 games of the regular season with them. So I thought in the last 2 games of the last 2 seasons with the Broncos and the Raiders, Jarrett Stidham's looked good. I just don't know about him being a starting quarterback for a full season. So what I am thinking of it as is that I think potentially adding in a guy like Zach Wilson as a backup, even though he's not the best quarterback, Zach Wilson, I think he's not a terrible backup to have. Trade details are Zach Wilson and pick 256 in this year's draft, which is a 6th-round pick, going to the Broncos for pick 203. So basically the Jets are just jumping up 53 spots in the 2024 NFL Draft. Zach Wilson is a bad quarterback. I'm not disagreeing with that, but he's very young. I think he's still 24 years old. That's one thing. He's still 24 years old. And honestly, I'm not trying to give Zach excuses. I just don't know if New York is – I don't know if they have the best coaching staff, in my opinion. Nice offensive coordinator with, having the old having Nathaniel Hackett. I know he was a terrible coach in Denver. Funny enough, now he's going to Denver when Nathaniel Hackett was the head coach. But he has been a good offensive coordinator for a guy like Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay in the past. But I just don't think it's the best coaching staff. He's not a good coach. He was not a good coach with Denver. And also you have Robert Saleh. I think he's a solid head coach, but he's more of a defensive guy. I don't like New York's coaching staff, to be honest. I don't think it's very strong. I don't think it was really built for Zach at all either. I think Zach deserves a second chance. If I'm just going to be honest, I think he deserves a second chance. And I think he might get that in Denver, potentially. If Jarrett Stidham potentially struggles, maybe he gets a chance. Let's go over what Zach did in 2023. So in 2023, he played 12 games with 11 starts, 4-7 record, 221 for 368, 60.1 completion percentage, throwing 2,271 passing yards, 8 passing touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. He wasn't good. He wasn't absolutely terrible. He was bad, but he wasn't absolutely terrible. I just feel like potentially he has a shot with the Broncos. I think if you look at it, Jarrett, in a QB competition, I think most likely Jarrett Stidham is QB1. And this is just thinking that the Broncos don't draft the quarterback in this draft. I think it would be weird to see the Broncos with 3 quarterbacks going into camp that potentially make the active roster. Then you're probably looking at Zach Wilson being QB3. But that's not a lot. That's not very surprising. But I think if you're Zach Wilson, you got to hope the Broncos don't draft the quarterback, because that really could ruin your career if you think about it. Right now, I think Zach Wilson still has a shot. He still has an opportunity to have a second chance. But if Denver drafts a quarterback in this draft in the first round or later in the draft, maybe that guy becomes the backup quarterback and is potentially, competing with a Jarrett Stidham. And then you're looking at being the 3rd quarterback on the roster. You might find yourself being cut. And then Zach Wilson might just be going from team to team at that point. So this is Zach's final chance, I believe. We kept talking about final chances in New York. I believe this is his final chance as a NFL. I'm not going to say NFL player, because if Denver doesn't work out, he's still probably going to have an NFL job. It might be it might be a not so great NFL job. It might be a practice squad quarterback or a 3rd string, not active, quarterback. What do they call it? The rule, because San Francisco, it's the non-emergency quarterback or something. It's the emergency quarterback, something like that. That was added in after that NFC Championship game between San Francisco and Philadelphia. But so I think this is one of Zach's last shots to potentially have a chance in the NFL. But I think with a different a change of scenery, a different coaching staff, I believe Sean Payton is a way better head coach than Robert Saleh is. He's more of an offensive coach as well. He's one of the best offensive coaches ever. So I think that there is a chance for him to have some success, but he's gonna have to work his ass off. What are your thoughts on the trade in the comment section, and peace out.